year, I'm at a little over, uh, $20 million now. Um, and it's all predicated on those three things: attract/repel, uh, convert them into an IC or and once an IC, then a client if necessary, then deliver a VIP experience. Okay, the largest thing I do that gets me the biggest impact is my postcard. So when I send this out, I generate about 3 leads. That's it. And those 3 leads allow me to earn about $62,000 a month. And this is the exact postcard I send out. The back of it has this information here with my fancy photo on it. And I send this postcard out. I personally send it out to 5,000 homes every 2 weeks. Now, I've had realtors that I work with send it out to as low as 477 homes, and they generate about $20,000 a month. And to send out to 477 homes costs, well, not that much, costs less than $800. I send it out via EDDM. The way I pick my market is well, first off, I live in a nice area, so I just market my own area. But if you're a realtor that doesn't live in a nice area of town, I would recommend that you just drive around town, find out where the nice homes are, and that's who you want to mail to. Now, I don't go for the top 10% of the homes. So again, I'm a realtor just like you guys, right? I've sold $374 million over the last 14 years. I started in Minneapolis, Minnesota. There, I focused on homes that were in that $600,000 to $900,000 range, because for Minnesota, that was pretty good. But I didn't focus on the top 10%, because those homes tend to just take a long time. So I focused kind of on the top, let's say 30%. Now being in San Diego, I do the same type of thing, but I focus more on those $700,000 to maybe $1.5 million price points. And I don't care where you're from, except if you're from the middle of Oklahoma somewhere, there's areas around you that the homes are $500,000, $600,000, $800,000 in price. And I believe you deserve to be the realtor getting those listings. So when I was in Minnesota, now that I'm in San Diego, I don't spend 1 second being concerned about who are the other realtors in the market. Doesn't matter to me. Does that make sense? So I drive around, I find out where the nice neighborhoods are. I go on to www.usps.com, or it might be .gov now. I find out the carrier routes of where those homes are, and that's it. I create my postcard. My postcard's very simple. This is the zip code that I'm sending out to. The reason I have that is because when I want people to get this, I want them to go, oh yeah, I live in that zip code. I always do photos of an interior or an exterior. The reason for that is if I sent like this house out, which is, I think this is 1.8 million. If a neighbor has a home that's 900,000, they're not gonna call me, because they're gonna think, wow, this guy just sells those type of homes. So I never put the price of what these homes are, because I want everybody to call me. And then on the back, it is ultra clear who should call. The only people that should call are people that are thinking of selling their home. They want extraordinary results. If so, call me, because I will sell your home faster for more money and with less stress. Here's my guarantees, and that's it. And like I say, generally 2 to 3 people will give me a phone call a month. Those people that call, they're not looking for a market analysis. They're not pondering moving. They are 100% ready to move, which allows me to have an ELF business. Remember, I said everything I do and I created for my signature proven system is it's got to be easy, lucrative, and fun. where most realtors are, they're going for the bottom of the barrel. They're going like, hey, call me for a market analysis or find out what your home is worth. I'm not interested in communicating with those people. Does that make sense? Because I have 4 kids and a beautiful bride of 24 and a half years. I don't have time to give people market analysis, right? And that allows me to sell $29.2 million of real estate in a year and not spend a lot of time doing it. And this, again, is just one of the 11 different strategies that I use to really attract premium clients. Clients that are fun and easy to work with, clients that are willing to pay me a full price commission. Some realtors ask me, they're like, well, what are the objections you get? Well, I don't get that many, right? So I don't have a book of 99 how to overcome objections, because if you're getting objections, you're doing something wrong, right? You're not providing enough value to them that they understand that. So it's like when I go buy a BMW, I don't argue over price. I just understand it's going to be like 90,000 give or take for a 7 Series BMW. Does that make sense? They're going after a different clientele. So awesome. Okay, do you guys have any questions on that aspect?
So it sounds like you send out about 10,000 cards in a month, right?
I do, yeah.
And it gets you about 2 or 3 phone calls out of that?
Yeah, the biggest thing.
Is that a good return on?
Yeah, so it costs me about $3,000 and I make 62,000. So I guess my profit's 59,000 a month. And I don't call expireds, I don't call FSBOs, I don't, not interested. Right. I send that postcard out. Now I have some coaching clients that I mentioned, Dan McGinnis, he sent out his first postcard. He sent out to 477 people. That's it. I think he told me the cost was around $200, and he got it was either a $16,000 or $18,000 commission from that. That's pretty sweet. So I don't even know what that equates to spend 200 to make 16,000. But again, the postcard is so simple. There's nothing on here that says I'm number one. There's nothing on here that says I'm your neighborhood realtor that's been here forever. There's nothing on here that says much, if anything, except, do you want to sell your home? If so, give me a call. I'll sell it faster for more money with less stress. So, yeah.
You don't use title company for the addresses, you just use the post office?
Yeah, just USPS.com. Yep. Yeah, it's really simple. Most realtors well, I'd say this. A good friend of mine told me about 2 weeks ago, he says, people have a built-in system to not get results. And I just want to say that real quick. I mean, people have a built-in system to not get results. And I think realtors are crazy and notorious for that. It's like, here is my CRM. It's a binder with some duct tape down the middle, right? That is very different than a traditional realtor. But again, I don't want to follow up with leads. Like, either they want to call me and do business or they don't. And that's what my postcard does. Does that make sense? Like, I don't have a drip system or that type of thing that just sends out information to my buyers and sellers. Either they want to meet with me to sell their home or they don't. And either way is okay. Because again, I only want to spend, well, now in my career, I only want to spend about 22 hours to 23 hours a week working on my real estate business. And that's what this postcard allows me to do. And I guarantee it'll do the same thing for you. In fact, oh my gosh, so what I do is, well, any other questions on this? You might have to
It's
unmute
it's so
yourself.
simple. Why don't other people do this?
Well, so great question. So I coach, well, I do two things outside of my own residential real estate business. One is I do a 3-day event in San Diego. I have one coming up October 20th, 21st, 22nd. It's $1,000 to attend. And I guarantee everybody who attends will walk away by the end of the 3rd day with a very clear picture of how you can add $300,000 of income or more to you within 12 months. And if you do not feel you can add $300,000 of income or more within 3 months without spending a lot of money, you just let me know and I refund you back 100% of what you paid. And the reason I can do that is because I'm a realtor and I'm doing this stuff, right? The postcard is one of 11 different strategies that I use. Remember that triangle of attract and repel, premium leads, and then convert those leads into an IC or into a client, and then deliver a VIP experience. So it's kind of like the postcard is definitely one aspect, but if you don't know how to convert a lead, the postcard strategy is worthless for you. And I think that's what happens, Brian, is most realtors, and maybe you can attest for this yourself, we chase a lot of shiny objects, but we don't spend enough time working on ourselves, right? So the middle part of the triangle is, I don't know if you can see behind me, but in the middle part is you, right? And so basically at the 3-day conference, we spend probably a day and a half working on you and really getting the skills down of like, why do I even want to do real estate? Does that make sense? And why am I chasing the bottom 50% of the buyers and sellers in my market? Why am I not focused on going after the top 30% of the buyers and sellers in my market? But again, it kind of goes back to that people have a built-in system to not get results.
And when you're going after the higher end of the market, do you have to do anything different? I know you said something about listing. What's the difference between the higher end market and say mid-range market, or kind of the average?
Well, okay, so great question. So when you sign up for the 3-day event, the moment you sign up, you get like entrance into my private membership, my private Google Drive, my private Dropbox. In there will be the exact postcards to send out, but that's one aspect. The next is like a 12-page brochure, right? So this is a brochure that I create. In fact, for clients that I coach, I create the brochure for them so they don't even have to mess with it. It's like all done, right? You have to print it out and send it to a professional printer. But so when I go on my listing appointment, they go, what do you do different? I don't have time to go over the listing script, but it's part of it is, hey, I do a 12-page brochure. Nobody else does that. I do drone photography. Nobody else does that. I have a website that is created just for your home. Nobody else does that, right? So it's kind of like that person who buys the BMW. I'll raise my hand. The person who buys a Lexus, right? That's me. The Lexus is basically made by Toyota, but I'm willing to pay 100% more to have an emblem that has an L on the back instead of a T, because a couple reasons. But one of them is the leather is just a little higher quality, right? The acceleration is a little higher quality. The instrument panel up front is a little higher quality. And that's what I'm demonstrating with the postcard, because this is very different than a traditional realtor. I'm demonstrating that when I show up at the door with, hey, this is the type of brochure that I'm going to create for you. I demonstrate that with my listing presentation, which is way different than a traditional realtor. And it's really all about them, the seller, and less about me. So to answer that question, Brian, between my second and third year, I realized I had to create a different way of selling real estate. Otherwise, I would drive myself nuts. And so what I created was a proven signature system that's not about me, but about the seller. Does that make sense? And so that's why it's so duplicatable. So realtors can duplicate my proven system no matter where they're at. They don't even have to be a veteran realtor, right? So I've worked with an 18-year-old. She put the system into place. She made a little over $40,000 within 60 days. And then a friend of mine's like, wow, that must have been lucky. So I hired a 19-year-old, and this 19-year-old made about $38,000. And it took him about 65 days. Any other questions on the postcard?
The booklet, what do you do with it? The 12-page booklet?
Oh, this is the brochure.
Yeah,
So,
the brochure, what do you do with it?
yeah, so you know how out front of the for sale sign, you know, most realtors, let me see if I can grab a typical realtor brochure. Yeah, I don't have one, but you know, they're just a typical piece of paper. Yeah, this is mine. So this instead of creating that crappy brochure, we're gonna create this, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. In fact, I'm gonna create it, I'm gonna pay for it. But this is what's gonna go in front of your house when people drive by. It's the same thing that, like, let me see if I have, I don't have exactly what I'm looking for. I got a Corvette recently, and they have their brochure is like it's a magazine. It's like 80 pages thick, right? And it's just got picture of like the Corvette. Well, I designed the brochure to be the same type of thing, right? So when somebody buys a higher end car, they expect a little higher fill in the blank, right? It's the same kind of thing. It's like this brochure is going to cost me $300 to make 100 of them. So what, right? Because I'm making $30,000 a transaction. Now I create the same brochure when I list a $400,000 home as well. I don't make it a point to sell $400,000 homes. That's really not my market. And I guarantee no matter where you live in America, there's homes around you that are 600,000. It's like, just go after those or higher. Yeah, any other questions on that? Did that kind of answer that for you, Brian?
Yeah, definitely.
So any questions on the 3-day event?
How long, if you implement, like, how long does it take with the system, kind of a good planning, if I was to buy, how long is it going to take me to get results with it? What should I expect? Oh,
okay, gotcha. As a realtor. Okay, so my buyer system I have, generally when I work with a buyer, I'm working with them for 3 to 10 days before we go pending on a property. But I think what you're asking is, as a realtor, for realtors who come to the 3-day event, how long does it take them to see results? I can just tell you, Jean is a realtor that got her license June 13th. And she's a little over 130,000 of gross commission income, and we're not even in October yet. Let's see, Sarah. That's pretty cool tone. Sarah's from Atlanta. Sarah made about 73,000 of gross commission income of brand new buyers and sellers within her first weekend back home. So it doesn't mean that these went pending. but she picked up buyers and sellers that totaled about 73,000. I tell realtors that generally, well, forget generally, within 12 months, you'll earn $300,000 of income. Within 12 months, Brian, you'll earn an additional $300,000 of income. If not, you're just not following the system. And what's cool about it is 11 of the lead categories cost basically zero to implement. And so I have some realtors that make about $900,000 a year, excuse me, and their total expenses are about $37,000. So that's pretty sweet. That's very different than a traditional realtor. Yeah, you should come to the event. It's October 20th, 21st, 22nd. I know Rick signed up, Travis has signed up. Awesome, so excited to see you guys. We have 4 bonus calls before the event. They're on Wednesdays, 9:30 in the morning, Pacific Standard Time. And we go over stuff like this in detail so that by the time you attend the event, you already have a result. Mary Ellen, who's coming to the event, she's from Florida. I forget exactly, but I think she says since the first bonus call, which was just last week, she's at something, it's either like 40,000 or 44,000 of additional income because she decided to pick up the phone and call one of her current clients and ask that current client a certain question. And from that one question, that led to some new transactions for her. So yeah, at the 3-day event, what we cover how to crush it with lenders, right? So I help realtors attract about $1 million a month of new business from a lender. We go over builders, how to get about $500,000 a month from builders, how to really work open houses so that it works for you. We talk about Ultimate 200, sending out thank you cards. It's really, really basic. But again, it's all about attracting premium clients and repelling everybody else. It's then like, how do you convert them into an initial consultation and then into a client if need be, right? There's many times where I just tell a buyer or seller, hey, I'm just not a good fit for you, right? And some of that is like some clients want me to return phone calls at like 6 p.m. at night. I don't do that, right? I tell them, hey, I'm kind of done. My day's usually done by about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And, I will check my voicemail the next day. But if you call me after 3, there's a good chance, I won't be getting back to you until the next day. And that's just that goes back to working on you, the realtor, right? Because we all have what I call BS. And to me, BS is a belief system. And many times our belief system holds us back. And so at the 3-day event, we really focus a lot on our belief system. And I'm just telling you, no matter who you are, if you've been a realtor for a day, or you've been a realtor for 40 years, or you've been in your market for 1 hour, or you've been in your market for 25 years, it does not matter. With my signature system, you can make an additional $300,000 of income within 12 months. And the reason I can say that is because I'm a realtor just like you guys. I'm not some professional speaker. I'm not a motivator. I'm giving you exactly what I do, and all you got to do is duplicate it. So yeah, if you haven't signed up for the event, I got my fancy PowerPoint here. You can go to www.profitsandpassions.com. Sign up there. It's $1,000. Like I say, by the end of the 3rd day, at your judgment, if you don't feel that you can make an additional $300,000 of income within 12 months, you just let me know. and I refund you back 100% of what you paid. It's sweet. And I limit it to 30 realtors. I limit it to 30 realtors because it's a complete system. I want you to walk away with everything you need. Does that make sense? So you can go out and crush it. So the cool part about it is that you probably need to implement 30% of it, and you'll do extraordinarily well financially. So it's not something you got to get all 99 steps correct. You get a few of them correct, you're going to be flying. So any questions on the 3-day event or on the postcard? I know Rick and Travis, you guys signed up for the 3-day event. Do you mind sharing what caused you to sign up?
Take it to the next level, Jonathan.
Yeah.
You know, I've been looking for a coach, and you know, I came across your system, and we got a chance to talk a few times. So I kind of like what you're doing, and you know, right now I'm not that old into the business, so I know I can get better at what I do, and I like what I see that you're doing, and of course your guarantee, and you know, so there's just some positive things that way. So, yeah, my average sale right now is probably 150. Okay, so to accomplish anything, I got to connect a lot of those dots and put a lot of those things together. So, obviously, with that takes a lot of time and effort. So if there's a way that we can work less and earn more, you know, I kind of like that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'll probably still work more, but without as much, you know, as long as I'm earning more as well. That's I guess part of it. So it'll certainly take the pressure off. That's for sure. You know.
Well, it'll be a blast to see your average price go from 150 to like 450.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that'd be huge.
Wow.
Yeah, that would be huge.
Well, you know, my story is that, you know, again, my first 2 years, I worked probably 100 hours a week.
Well, yeah.
And I just grinded it out because that's what my broker told me to do, and all the real estate books tell me to do, right? And I realized, I told my wife, I'm like, I can't keep this up. Like, I'm gonna have a meltdown. I just can't. I'm not superhuman. And she's like, okay, go hire some business coaches. So I went out, and between my second and third year, I probably spent about $80,000 of money I didn't have on business coaches. And I said, I gotta find a different way to do real estate than all these other traditional realtors out there, right? And so these coaches really, really helped me create this signature system that is all based on having an easy, lucrative, and fun business, which means I gotta be working 50 hours or less a week, but I gotta be making $500,000 in income or more. And yeah, it's been great. I've done it in 2 different markets. I have 4 great kids. I'm able to go on very nice vacations. Typically about every 2 months, we're going somewhere from anywhere from 1 week to 2 weeks. And I've developed the habit of just turning my cell phone off at a certain time of the day, and it's just done, right? And if people call me after that, I'll get back to them the next day. And that's a very different way of doing business. I don't have a large team. Right now, I don't even, well, I say I don't have an assistant, but I subcontract a lot of stuff out. So like when I create a brochure, like I don't do it. I send that out. But I don't have an assistant that someone could talk to, right? In the past, I've had a pretty large team. In Minnesota, I had 16 realtors working with me. I had 6.5 admin people, but I was pulling my hair out. I was like, this is not that fun. I just became a manager. I'm not a manager material. So I said, okay, how can I, as a solo realtor, make a really, really good income but not work every second of the day. Yeah, so that's what this is about, and that's what this postcard is about. The postcard is all about attracting someone who wants to sell their home. Does that make sense? And for someone who doesn't want to sell their home, do you know what they do with this postcard? I'll show you. It pains me, but it comes in their mail and they go and they throw it out. And that's okay. Does that make sense? It's kind of like some kids like to go to Michigan State. Some kids like to go to Ohio State. Some kids go to Valparaiso. Some go to UCLA. Some go to USC. Some go to Harvard. Most colleges, yeah, yay, Ohio State. You know, colleges are okay with that. Does that make sense? It's like, hey, we can't get all 4 million freshmen to come to our college. And that's the mentality I have, is like, I don't need 100 leads a month. All I need is a few handful of really high quality premium buyers and sellers, and I'm set, right? Which is kind of what this triangle is. So it's like I focus on getting 16 leads a month, which turns into 8 initial consultations, which turns into 2 closings. And the realtors that I coach and train, we don't have a tattoo of this, but we practically could, because it's so focused on working with premium people. And premium people doesn't mean they have to be rich and wealthy, but it does have to mean they know what they want and they're willing to pay market price, right? So I just recently helped out a seller. I think his home sold for like $405,000, but he was a premium client, right? He's like, Jonathan, what do you think we should list it for? We should list it for this. Okay, that's it. What do you charge for commission? This is what I charge. Okay. Does that make sense? It wasn't like kicking and pulling and like I had to do some dog and pony show and I got to show him all my medals and awards and, you know, I'm not into that. Does that make sense? And most traditional realtors are so, they're on this treadmill that never ends, right? And that's really what the 3-day event is about. It's like, get this proven signature complete system, start putting it into action, and you will see results. Guaranteed, right? By the end of the 3rd day, if you don't feel you can add an additional $300,000 of income, just let me know and I refund you back 100% of what you paid. It's pretty simple. Awesome. Any questions on that?
Sounds great.
So to summarize real quick on the postcard, before I even do the postcard, I just drive around where I live and I figure out what houses I'd like to sell. I jot down kind of the area. I then go back to my computer. I type in USPS.com, or it might be .gov, I'm not sure, but it's the post office website. I click on the button that says EDDM, which stands for Every Door Direct Marketing.
Yeah.
I then find out the carrier routes, and all you do is you kind of hover over the screen and it'll show you, hey, there's 400 homes in this area, 300 here, 200 here. I pick the carrier routes. I then tell my designer, hey, design the postcard, sends it out, and away it goes. And then I basically just wait for the phone to ring, and it will ring. And, but I think as Brian mentioned earlier, or asked earlier, like, I can give you this postcard, but without the proven listing presentation, right? And without the 12-page brochure, without the seller guarantees, it kind of doesn't mean anything. Does that make sense? So it's like I could give a realtor 1,000 leads a day, but if you don't have the materials behind it, or you don't have the mindset of, hey, I'm worthy enough to sell this $900,000 home, and you don't have my listing presentation, you might as well not even have the lead. Does that make sense? And that's what we really, really, really focus on at the 3-day event. There's no theory. There's no outside speakers. There's no like masterminding, right? It's the 100% my system that all you got to do is plug in and, you know, away you go. It's all about creating an ELF business, easy, lucrative, and fun. It's not about expireds. It's not about FSBOs. It's not about overcoming objections. It's about being a real human who interacts with people and just treats them at this level that they've probably never been treated ever before in their life. And to me, that's what a professional real estate consultant is about. And I believe that's why I'm able to, and the people that come to the 3-day event and the people that coach with me on a weekly basis, we're able to get these results that are very different and atypical, because we go back to like, what does the public want? The public wants somebody that's real, raw, relevant, and will get them results. And that's what we focus on. Beautiful. Does that answer some of that stuff, Brian?
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Any last questions? Oh, let's see. I think Paul's trying to say something. You might be muted, Paul. No? Were you asking a question, Paul? I wish I could unmute you, Paul. I'm not sure how. Well, while we're waiting for Paul, anybody else got any other questions? Oh, there's Paul.
How you doing?
Hey, good. Where are you from, Paul?
Santa Cruz, California.
Oh my gosh. All right, so oh my gosh, with this signature system, you'll be making a lot more than an additional $300,000.
A beautiful beach out there.
Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, you'll be able to do probably 900,000 within 12 months, if not more. So what's up? What can I answer for you?
Well, let's see. I've been a developer for about 12 years and got stung pretty hard in the recession. I was doing real estate and retired, and had a couple of bad deals go south. Invested in a solar company that didn't do too well, and have my license for about 2 years now. I guess I'm doing, I don't know, 10, 12 deals this year so far, and looking to sell larger deals.
Nice. Oh my gosh. Easy. So have you signed up for the 3-day event?
I'm going to be in LA during that event for a family gathering.
Oh,
So I can't make that one.
okay. Bummer. Well, yeah, I would say sign up, and I suppose what you could do, you could sign up, you get all the material right away. You can still jump on these bonus calls, right?
Okay.
We have 3 more bonus calls. We have 1 tomorrow, and then 2 more following that. And then, gosh, what we'll probably do, because I'm not going to have an event for a while, is we'd probably jump on a call.
Okay.
And I'd give you some stuff to really kind of find out where you're at, where we can quickly get you some results and get you going on a jump start call and start making it happen. Because if you're newer in the business, but you've done 10 transactions, you're doing something right. We just got to tweak that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And
Each year, the last 2 years, each year I've done about that so far this year.
done about that. Okay. So yeah, we could probably double that conservatively, but double it where your average price point's more in that $1 million plus, which should be
Okay.
helpful for you.
Oh, I think so.
Yeah. And this postcard is something you could do, and you don't even have to do it at the scale that I do it at.
I've done a few postcards and have not received any response whatsoever.
Okay, so what?
I must be doing it wrong.
Well, yeah, you're probably putting too much on there, right? It's like when I get a card from Valvoline oil, it's pretty much just like, hey, come change your oil, $10 off coupon, and that's it. Like, they don't tell me they've been around since 1904, and they get their oil from Oklahoma, and it's just hey, $10 off. And even though I'm pretty well-to-do, I still keep that crazy coupon, right? And it's the same kind of concept in real estate. And so yeah, we'd get on a bonus call, and we could probably do 3 things for you within an hour that will help you double what you're doing, but get those transactions up to $1 million or more.
All right, I'll sign up and arrange for a 30-minute call.
Yeah, do that. Yeah.
I tried to just listed, just sold, market analysis. I've tried a few different things.
Yeah.
I'm constantly trying new things.
Okay, so don't do just listed, don't do just sold, and don't do market analysis. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I figured that part out already.
Yeah.
How many more do I want to keep going before I figure it out?
Just one more.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. That's oh my gosh. And if for some reason your family thing falls through, then
no, it's been on the schedule for quite a long time now.
good. That's
my niece and nephew.
awesome. Good for you.
Yeah.
I love putting family way up there at the top of my funnel or totem pole too, and that's something we go over. We create a 25-year plan, right? And most realtors don't have a plan for what's going on next week, let alone a 25-year plan. But when you create a 25-year plan, your life does almost like a 180, because you start to realize, like, why am I dealing with a cranky buyer? Why am I dealing with a cranky seller? Why am I even dealing at this price point, right? Not that I want to deal at $32 million properties, because those can take forever to sell, but why not do the $1.5 million properties in Santa Cruz, or for Rick in Michigan, like, why not do the $550,000 property? Yeah. That's like bread and butter all day long. There's thousands of them. So awesome. Someone asked, do I ever come to Atlanta? Unfortunately, no. Every time that I do the 3-day event, it's always in San Diego. And it's probably 10 minutes from my house. The reason I do that is my coaching clients that I coach, and I do coaching where I help clients really put the stuff into action, and they come over to my home the day before, and we hang out for like a full day powwow session. So yeah, always in San Diego. But Kimberly, you should come to San Diego. One of the reasons I do it, okay, so I don't have any online program, right? Like some online class people can buy, because I feel that doesn't get people results, right? It's just another thing where they can put it on their shelf and say, oh, I bought this program, right? It's kind of like if all we needed was more information, anybody with an internet connection would be bountifully rich and blessed and, you know, leading a fulfilled life. So there's so much more than just the information. It's a drastic shift in your belief system or in your BS. Does that make sense? On so many different levels. And that's why in the triangle of attract, convert, deliver is you, or in my triangle, it's me. All right, cool. Well, have a great day, everybody. I'm here to help you out. Put this postcard thing into practice. You'll have some people tear them up. Don't let that bother you. You'll have other people give you a call, which is the entire point of it. But then make sure you put in, well, once you sign up for the class, you get like my exact listing presentation, all kinds of other stuff that'll make that one component really work. It's kind of like having a car, but your only component is the engine. You need a little more than that, you know? So, all right, rock stars, have a great day. See ya.
See you, Jonathan. Thank you, buddy.
Bye.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.